All right, so we are live. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me again this evening. And got a new, what do we call this, a discussion member this evening, Mr. Chris. So we'll let him introduce himself. We talked about some of your customs last week, so I brought you on. You could talk about that. We were just talking about something before we went live.
Well, I think the hair that I did for Clamp Champ is probably what most people are asking about. And here in this picture, it does look a lot better. It's more diffused. Doesn't look so much like a helmet, even though that's actually what it is. His hair is actually a sanded down helmet with ears carved out. And then what I found worked the best is this. It's called matte finish acrylic paint. It's like tempura. You remember the poster paints we used in school? It always would dry to a matte finish. That's what I ended up using. And then to get the texture, I used matte varnish and then tapped it with the tip of a brush to make it textured. Then applied this matte finish. Where in some of the older photos that I posted of this exact same character, it still looked like he was wearing a black helmet. So like that's part of my technique just for doing that. I'm thinking about doing a few more other characters like this now that I figure I know what I'm doing.
What about the body for that Clamp Champ?
What I did was I painted several limbs this darker brown, and then I picked which ones turned out the smoothest, because if you just do one figure at a time, you're stuck with whatever you got. So I had some leftover limbs. That's where that Sasquatch figure came from. I got some of the other members named him Oaken. He's basically another Moss Man, but he was done in brown. And I'd always wondered, why did they not do a Sasquatch version of that exact same mold, from Beast Man to Moss Man. And then I did that. This character. See, now he's holding a snake. That was the snake I had mentioned. But I ended up using the leftover limbs to do this character that didn't turn out so smooth for the Clamp Champ character. The type of paint I use is actually spray paint, but I don't spray the actual character. I spray it into aluminum foil and then funnel it into a smaller container to paint out of later. And then, of course, thin coats. The way I paint the character is I put them in a T stance and do the joints first, because once those dry, you can paint around the rest of it. If you keep painting over the joints over and over again, that's where you have that scraping when you start articulating the figure. So the points where the paint's going to scrape, I'll lightly sand that down, because you're going to end up filling that spot with plastic. You make the part bigger every time you paint it.
Makes sense.
Why do you choose to use enamels? Why is that your preference?
Enamels?
Yeah, the enamels, the spray paint.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, you said that you use spray paint, so you're talking about enamel paint, right?
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if it's enamel. I think it's Rust-Oleum makes a paint called Fusion.
Okay.
But what I look for is the paint that says it bonds to plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Krylon makes some, and Rust-Oleum makes some. So I got a mixture of both. I remember one of them is called Fusion.
I use
some of the
too.
parts I'll spray paint, but what works the best for me now is to actually spray paint into the aluminum foil and then painting out of a separate container. Nobody else does that?
I do it.
I've not tried it yet, but I'm
talking
going
about.
to.
But I add a coat of clear lacquer to it to give it a hard. It makes the paint dry faster.
Yeah, that's true. But you still have to wait for the paint to get to a certain point of drying. Like I had mentioned before, sometimes when I clear coat, I feel like I'm sealing into juices, and the paint never dries underneath. It makes it like it's like leathery, and it stays sticky. But that can be used for doing texture. Once you get to a certain point of the paint drying and you clear coat it, then you can texture it, and that's what I'm assuming should work if I want to do like scales on a character, where go and press the design directly into the paint. But I'm gonna have to do some experimentation on that. I haven't actually tried it yet. It's theoretically it works. In my head, it works great.
So aren't the heads on Mega figures, aren't they a little more rubbery than the bodies?
They've got a poly to them.
Yeah. I've used Rust-Oleum spray paints for Transformers parts, specifically ones from like 2010 maybe, and it worked great on those. But I think if it's more like kind of bendy, rubbery plastic, it doesn't seem to stick as well, or it gets sticky.
You have to give it a light coat of primer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so skilled with painting, so except for that Transformers run, that went really well, but it was the right kind of plastic. So.
Well, that the fusion paint was formulated specifically for car bumpers. The rubber part.
Nice.
You couldn't use enamel paint on the car bumper because it would crack.
Because that's got some flux to it.
Yeah. Well, it bonds to the plastic. So if the plastic is rubbery or is malleable, then the paint does too. But I'm still seeing. I don't know what I did wrong. There was when I was working on this Spike Ore character, I had noticed that there was like shrinkage cracks, and that's where I had to completely redo the entire character over again after I had painted him. He was more of a periwinkle purple, a lavender purple, and now he's more grape because I completely redid the paint. I had to completely strip him because he had all these like shrinkage cracks. And I really don't know what went wrong there.
So the paint shrunk?
Yeah. The paint on his legs had a bunch of shrinkage cracks. And I noticed that with a few other characters. So I think it was maybe because of the type of clear coat. I was using an enamel clear coat and that fusion paint, where if I'm layering several different types of mediums, it was I just noticed it was causing it to crack. And every time I would try to paint over the crack, it would, because at a distance it looks fine, but when you look at it close up, you can see it's like it's got bubbles in it, and it looks gritty.
Did you
that
have
was
a
the problem I had with the first buzz off I did? His limbs looked like he had blisters all over his body, and it looked horrible. So now he just has regular He-Man limbs. He doesn't actually he's not painted. And
Did
then
you have Did you have a different kind of paint underneath that?
I think it was a temperature problem. I paint outside, and it was really cold, and
Humidity?
I think it was too cold for me to be painting because after I brought him in and looked at him under the light, I noticed he had all these bumps. It looked like he was textured like with sand or something, and it just looked horrible. If you remember some of the earlier pictures I had posted a month or two ago of the first buzz off I did, but no one's ever asked me about how I got his stripes so straight. Those stripes are actually stickers.
There you go.
You see how I can do that?
What kind of where the stickers come from?
It's electrical tape. Like I guess you can't read it. I mean, the stand actually says "buzz off," where people joke about the old, the original stand. It would have a different character's name on there. I actually put the character's name on the stand. But I use electrical tape. I put it across a piece of mirror, and then I cut it with a straight blade, and a straight edge and an X-Acto blade, and then super glue it to the bare surface of the character's plastic chest. So that way it's a raised surface that's easier to paint. But that's just the color of the sticker. It was it's yellow electrical tape taped over a brown painted body.
Have you tried graph tape?
Is that metal?
No, it's almost a plastic. It's graph tape. You can get it in the office supply stores. It comes in like 1/16 of an inch wide.
Oh, right, yeah, like pinstriping.
Yes.
Yeah, I was. I'm a cheapskate. I had thought of that. I don't have any pinstriping left over, but I did have pinstriping years ago, and I ran out. And then because of the size tolerance, I wanted to make sure that the stripes were all the exact same width. So I figured I'm going to have to hand cut it anyway. So I'm just working off of regular plastic aluminum or plastic electrical tape.
You could paint it your base coat. Use your graph tape to tape it off, and then paint it yellow or the black, vice versa, whichever way you want to go, and then peel it off, and you've got perfect lines.
Yeah, I hope so. Can you see the textured lines in Whiplash's chest?
Yeah.
Can you tell? You see, in person, it's actually a raised surface. I did it with this guy first, but this is actually like muffler tape. It's aluminum tape that I've cut into strips and glued to his chest, and then just painted the whole thing, that dark green. And then you remember which head that is from the World of Warcraft guys.
Yeah, older guy, whatever the green guy's name.
Yeah, this was one of the earliest figures I did.
Nice.
I think that's one of my favorite figures you've made.
Yeah, you like the back?
Yeah. No, the whole figure just came together so well.
Yeah, Tails rad.
Yeah, I like how clean it turned out. And I'm not the first person that's did this. I'm actually copying off of someone else online that had used that exact same head. I'm not sure what they used for the tail because the figure, they only showed the front of the figure. But the tail is from that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character, Leatherneck. And I guess it's considered a rare figure and hard to get. He was like $18.
Woo.
But I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I got anybody.
And then the wings, I think it would look better if it was just the bottom wings, but I don't want to ruin it by trying to cut the top part off. But my first idea was I was going to all the dollar stores and trying to find a bag of miscellaneous, creepy crawly bugs, and take the wings off of those. But like I couldn't find them anymore. Where when I was a kid, I remember they were everywhere, and now I can't find them. I even went to the craft stores, seeing if I could find a bag of like cockroaches, but all the wings were molded directly on the body, so they wouldn't work. But these wings are painted. I used a highlighter. It was the wings were clear, and I painted it with a highlighter and then clear coated it.
Nice.
How did you do the helmet?
The helmet came from, when Mega Bloks did the Alien series, where they had the characters from the Alien movie and the Alien. They had it was just a Marine, and he had a helmet that had like some kind of cloth that came down the back, and a futuristic weapon and everything. He looks really Halo, but it's a Marine. I had bought that character, out of boredom, and forgotten about him. I had him in a bag of other figures, and I would go through the bag, looking for ideas of, I know I want to make a helmet for this character, but I haven't figured out what I'm going to make it out of. And when I saw that helmet, I'm like, well, I already know it fits on a Mega Bloks figurehead. So all I got to do is just figure out how to make the eyes and the antenna. So the eyes are actually little tiny, those little googly eyes you'd see people put on like greeting cards for fun, and when you shake it, the eyes wobble around. The eyes on the helmet actually are eyes, but they're painted black because I needed a raised surface, for them to set on. And then his antennas are those plastic strips that hold the characters in the packaging when you buy like action figures. I used a heated needle and poked 2 holes through the top of the helmet, and then ran those plastic strips through and super glued it, and then painted it, and then later on went and trimmed them off to the shorter length. And like, I just kind of like made it up on the fly, no pun intended. How is everyone else doing their antenna on their buzz off helmets? Have you seen anyone else do one?
Not many, maybe 4. Not personally. Yeah.
That one yet, so I'm not sure how I'd go about doing it.
So what's
Kind of hard to hear.
I wonder if can you guys hear me now?
I can, yeah.
I was just saying I haven't really thought much about it because I haven't tackled that figure yet, but that would work. Your approach, I could see myself still in that approach.
That's an interesting idea, though. I got a lot of parts, and I'd be willing to help out for these kinds of problems. Is there any other problems people are trying to solve with figures?
Kind of caught me at the wrong moment to really. I mean, if I thought about it, next time I hit a wall, I'll make sure I reach out.
Yeah, go ahead. I got a lot.
Yeah. I know. I plan to start doing some more customs here in about another week or 2.
There's a big lack of female characters. I wish they had some more female head sculpts to choose from.
Yeah. Are you using any like Daenerys or Cersei or anything?
I'm not sure which ones you're talking about. I've used the Doctor from Halo.
The two ladies from Game of Thrones.
Daenerys, I've used her legs for something, but not her head. Still trying to figure out what to use her for.
They might work
I was
with Evil Lynn, but we don't need that. So.
I was thinking about using one of those two figures for a Queen Marlena.
The dress would work nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not green.
Now y'all talking about the older versions or the new ones that just came out?
Well, either. I mean, I think the throne comes with both of the two female characters, right? Both Cersei
Right.
and Daenerys. So that's cheap solutions are good.
Yeah, those are the ones I have are from the throne.
Yeah, I still haven't found the new single pack Game of Thrones yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little hunting tomorrow. I've not seen those yet, but I've not really been trying.
Yeah, me either. They're weird. Wait, Mark's here. Yeah, let's talk about this, Mark. So those granted, it's not He-Man, but it's good to talk about how stores work. For some reason, those aren't in Walmart's system nationwide. Like no one's got them to ring up properly.
I looked up the barcode, and apparently Walmart's not going to carry them. It showed up not on file, no information.
But how's that work though? Because they're actually in the stores.
You know, so yeah, people have found them.
I don't know.
This rarely happens like that. But
I had a picture of the barcode and actually scanned. I mean, the actual card back that I saved offline and scanned it. It didn't come up with any information.
yeah, that's a weird one. It almost never happens.
What do you got here, Rob?
Is this the soldier that he used for the helmet, Chris?
Yep.
It was just named. Yeah. I think that was the guy.
Yeah, there's only one of those Marines so far, a Colonial Marine.
Yeah, see, at the time, that was the only helmet I actually had. Later on, I bought one of the newer Marine sets, and like 3 of them are wearing helmets, and I'm like, yeah, see, I can use these helmets to reproduce that, but like I haven't actually, done 2 of the same figure. I've redone the same figure over again. But now in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I could probably make another helmet. But why? Unless I plan on, doing an entire army of, what was he, a bee person?
They're starts with an A.
Oh. And
Yeah.
Isn't that it?
But in both the cartoon and the mini comic, there was like an entire village of these people.
Yeah.
And
Nope.
the same thing like with Zodak is a member of like a intergalactic team, like the Green Lantern Corps. So I was thinking about doing multiple. The what?
Is that one of the heads that had the T-post for the helmet? Like Man at Arms?
Oh, the T heads, you mean?
Yes.
I don't think his helmet comes off. I think it's one piece.
I mean, for Buzz Off. I mean, the Marine that you did. The Marine that you used for the Buzz Off helmet.
No, there's a bald head under there, I think. Yeah, I know there is, because it fits on the Ninja Turtles Rock Soldiers. It's a big shell.
He still has that little tab on that one side because I wanted it to be left to look like a helmet. It still comes off.
Yeah, I don't.
So he still has that regular head, and then it's just a helmet.
Okay.
There's not a good explanation for why Mega sometimes does T-head helmets for Call of Duty and Man at Arms, and then they hop over and just do like bald heads that are real helmet fits on. They just do what they want to.
Yeah, these guys would be a good one for army building. The other ones that I like to have an army of is the race that Stratos comes from.
Yeah, I can probably help you with that.
Oh,
Really?
oh yeah.
I've got a case full of them. When they went down to $1, I just bought every one of them.
Oh, we'll have to talk, Brian,
All right,
because I would like to. I like to. Aren't they from Avion?
I think so.
I would love to build an Avion in my setup.
Which figures was that?
Stratos. Because
They remind me of the Birdmen from Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
But they're also like ape-like, aren't they? I always thought they were monkey birdmen for whatever reason.
The Wizard of Oz.
they do have a monkey birdman feel to them. You're right.
Yes, I think that would be another neat series for Mega Block to do. Would be the do the classic Flash Gordon in Mega Block.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, does
Barbarella.
Mattel that?
Barbarella.
I don't know how well that one would sell.
The kids would love her.
I don't know if they would reference. I don't think they would understand the reference.
No.
That's where the name Duran Duran came from the band in the 80s.
Yeah.
So speaking of the kids loving her, I mean, you think if Mega owns, okay, so Mattel owns Mega. Mega has the rights to the He-Man franchise, but do they have the She-Ra franchise also? You think we'll see She-Ra line of Mega Construx figures?
Maybe. I don't know if they're. Depends on whether or not they're separate. They might not be a separate license.
I mean, we see She-Ra in the Origins line.
You know, they made those dolls off of the Netflix show.
Right.
So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I remember buying some of those for my daughter.
Yeah. Maybe.
Will you bringing something else up, Rob? No? Okay. I mean, I just think if, they run He-Man Masters of the Universe for a year, a couple more years, and they could start with She-Ra and,
As long as it's not a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah.
No problem for that. That's tough. You see those Origins ones that just went on and sold out?
Yeah, completely got botted out in like 30 seconds. Yeah. Page after page after page of complaints about that on toy groups today.
Yeah, not happy.
So, do you think we'll see other Comic-Con exclusives for the Mega Construx line?
I hope not. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, after Battle Bones. I mean,
Yeah.
Apply the logic that a Comic-Con exclusive is going to be something that like most kids aren't really familiar with and something that's kind of expensive to make. Like Battle Bones, for example, kids really don't have a reference to that. Like so what other characters or vehicles or things in our experience with the toy line as when we were kids, do you think would make an exclusive? Like I would have thought some of the, I would have thought like even like the the wall crawling feature that came with the Skeletor head. That's like kids don't know anything about that. Like,
yeah, but it was a small thing you could put in there. 20 pieces.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think something like the Attack Track or anything in the Horde, like
Fright
the
Zone
this year. Just Talk MEGA.
You're just thinking of something to put in with a Skeletor head?
Well, just talking about if they were to release something at like Comic-Con, it would be directed towards us. It wouldn't be directed towards kids.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wouldn't matter. They release it, we'd all fight over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe a mega equivalent to what they did with the Origins Grayskull stuff.
Yeah, that I like that
That'd be cool.
Grayskull part of it. That's a cool. That's something if I could get that, I'd probably use it with my Mega Grayskull.
Speaking of Grayskull, somebody shared a Halo set for that spacesuit. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, I want to make one of those.
I think it's
The spacesuit would be a limited figure that we would get that the kids really want to be into. And they could just use Halo for that.
Can't really get them lit up well. But I think this is the figure most of them use.
This helmet.
Looks like it, yeah.
That helmet has the right shape, huh?
Yeah, the helmet, all you got to do is just paint it. Or if you can find it in the right color.
Well, maybe they'll just reuse that and put it in a skull or something.
So what were you showing?
They were showing us the figure that has the right shaped helmet.
Is that the set that it's from?
You went and
It's
see
set up
Spartan
on
Security.
screen.
Oh,
I think there's several. Can they
that
get?
doesn't look right.
Let me zoom in here. I think that's the same one. I mean, there's so many, but I know this one that we've got. Can you tell from that picture? Can you go scoot over to the other picture again?
Which one?
The one in the package. It's hard to see. I don't think that's the same head. And honestly, I can't tell the one that Chris and I both. I think we both have the same figure.
Right, yeah, Spartan Security.
That's it. Okay, there you go. I've never had a name for him.
Oh, okay, I see him.
Yeah, I got the gold yellow version.
Yeah, that's the one most people. I know there's yellow. I've got a blue, a gray, and a green. So they came in a couple different colors, apparently.
Right, and glow in the dark. Or no, wait, no, he was blue. He came with glow in the dark characters.
Huh.
But
So
I've slowly been selling off my Halo collection
I don't.
to make room for Masters of the Universe.
That is the way.
For a line to be so small, they take up a lot of space.
Yeah. Well, Mark, tell us about the new weapons you've been working on.
I don't know how to describe them. They're 3D prints with staffs or 3mm grips added to them.
Here, I'll pull up some of the photos that you've been sending out to us. Maybe.
That one looks cool.
So, Mark, are those based on any like mini comic things, or are they more just like your own concepts?
This axe is based off the Galaxy Warriors.
Okay.
And this was a concept for Manny Faces, the original, before it went to Filmation. He was supposed to be a shaman of some sort.
Is that a 3D there?
Yes. Well, it's a 3D printed, and I've cut the bottom off of it and added the little pair.
Bird head.
I don't know what you call it, like telescope. Yeah, that's a better picture. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I've done the blast effects for like magic users. Upper right hand corner is Skeletor's bone sword. And then the bottom right is they're just bone weapons, which I don't know. They kind of give you the mini comic feel, the more savage type He-Man.
Right.
I've made a spear too. I haven't finished it yet using the same end.
I really like the paint job on the axe.
Which one?
The one next to the shield.
Yeah, that I used Faker's. I cut Faker's axe handle off and put it on the axe itself. How can I say this? If I scaled the weapon to the grip, the weapon is not in scale. So I just cut the handles off and added mega grips to them. That way I can get the right size.
Mm-hmm. It works.
And of course, the shield is Too Bad shield, and it's got a clip that clips onto the arm. The blast effects are actually two different Lego parts. The what attaches to the hand, the hole is not big enough for the post on the blast effect, so I drilled it out, made it bigger, and glued it in, and painted it up. And of course, that's Orko's wand up top. I don't know if it's from the Classics line or from the 2000X series. I'm not sure. I just saw it online and thought it was interesting. But I did a wash and everything on those. Did highlights.
Yeah, those bone daggers are pretty savage.
Mm-hmm. There's another file on there for spears and bone axes, and I'm not sure what you'd call the other weapon. I've got to look into getting a file for those. They look great on the figures.
Yeah,
But that's really about all I've been working on. Besides the figures that I posted.
True. Well, Rob, you done anything new this week?
No, I'm kind of in a rut right now.
Well, I mean, it's understandable. End of the year coming up, end of the school year for you.
Yep. But as soon as I get things wrapped up work-wise, I'm gonna double down my time and start putting some stuff out.
Yeah, I'd share, like pictures of the bathroom tile I laid this afternoon with you guys. But it's that's
Rob,
all
have
I've
you
done this week?
Rob, have you thought about making an Ethereum?
I haven't really thought about it. I really, you know what? My heart right now is in actually my next big display. I want to do something with G.I. Joe. I'd like to do like a battlefield with Cobra and Joe.
With Mega
And just do all 3D printed vehicles and stuff.
Oh, I was gonna say, you gonna do like Creo size, or are you gonna do?
They're just gonna go full 3D printing, just because there's not a lot of product on the market right now.
Here, if you want some GI Joe bricks.
Are those Creo kits?
Well, these are Creo sets.
I have the Terror drawing. It's a big set.
Yeah. Oh, dude, There's a guy who has a group who is doing all custom Mega figures. In fact, there was the second Ninja Turtles recent, like the Michael Bay movie. The foot soldiers for that almost look exactly like Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
You can just take that figure and do a small modification for that. But
Yeah, all you gotta do is switch out like 2 parts.
Yeah, I'll try and find him. That guy, he's doing the best he can.
If you guys come across any guys out there doing that stuff, send me a couple of links. I'll start processing it.
Look it up here.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, with all the Call of Duty and the foot soldiers from the Ninja Turtle movies, yeah, it's pretty easy to actually make the G.I. Joe line. I mean, yeah, you're really just switching out parts and painting. You're not doing a lot of modifications.
Thingiverse has a lot of files for that, Rob. A lot of files.
For G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to use as my. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna use. I actually started printing some pieces for the USS flag.
Well, wasn't there? Have you seen the brick company that's called BTR? They're like another kind of off-brand Lego. Wow, how big a flag are you gonna make?
Here's the bow. So that's going to be kind of give you an idea of the scale.
Far out.
So I figured the flag was the biggest thing you could make. So if I got my scale to where I wanted it for the flag, then I would just shrink everything else to scale to the flag.
Okay.
And I actually printed these solid. So it's like it's rare. It's solid resin. Instead of hollowing it out. So when it's put together, it's going to be a heavy ship.
Crazy.
It's a lot of pieces.
Yeah. It takes some time to do.
There's a guy. I can't remember where I saw the file, but he's done files for Eternia. I don't know what size it is. I'm gonna try to see if I can't.
I saw him one day on one of the groups actually showing photos of the scanning process.
Mm-hmm.
That was really impressive. Like the scanner he has access to is super fancy.
But imagine that in mega size.
Yeah, we just have to scale it down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the back is hollow. You could create the innards for it.
Yeah, you can just build the platforms inside there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed a post by that same guy, and he had mentioned to someone to message him. Did you message him?
I haven't yet. No.
It looks like a solid scan. Like that's quality. Here, I can share that picture you shared with us.
And the back is just 3 platforms.
Oh, is this the attorney you were talking about?
Yeah, so this guy, he has access to like a really fancy scanner, and he's taken the time to scan the actual original playset.
And is that scaled to Mega Construx?
Well, I mean, currently it's scaled to the original. So you'd have to shrink it down in the software to Mega.
I'm like, hey, who's got a 3D printer that big?
It was like a big tabletop that like went around the object, because he also did the new castle. Did you see that, Mark?
No,
The new Origins castle. Somewhere I saw that post.
Well, Nate, you could slice that in Mesh Mixer.
Mm-hmm. But what Mark was saying is true. Like on the back of these, they're just hollow. So you could take Mega Blocks and build like different floors and levels inside them.
Right. Now, so in your 3D design, could you scale it down to make a block size and then add the holes where you could put in the plates? I mean,
Absolutely.
design it that particular?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. You could even take like a 3D scan of like a Lego brick and you could go in and using Mesh Mixer, you could add layers of studs in places if you wanted to build off of it or something.
The platforms are actually separate pieces. You could cut Lego tile, plates and replace it with the parts that was supposed to come with them.
Oh, just use facade. So like turn them into Lego facade pieces.
Well, I mean the 3 floors that come with it, you could just replace them with, scale it down, trace the outline, then cut them out and just slide them in.
Right.
And build up from that.
Yeah, hopefully that gentleman makes that available to the community out there. Because that is, I mean, first of all, it's a piece that people would love to have just in their regular collections. If you're like doing a big, display or something like that, that you'll never be able to buy. I mean, it's a holy grail piece, right?
You could get a car or Eternia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you get by the monorail part of it.
Hot Wheels.
Lego.
Yeah. You just built a Lego, right? I mean, isn't there a monorail Lego truck?
Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive. Don't bother.
Those are hard to come by.
Oh, is it?
Now, if 3D printed track was more accessible and cheaper, that'd be a good thing to go with.
Wonder if you'll get that far on it.
Sorry.
I know a couple of times I've thought about just 3D printing original MotU figures at scale with Mega Blocks to build some armies, but they're going to look kind of weird the way they stand and stuff.
Or
Well, what is the cost per 3D print average compared to just buying the figures?
If you're talking about just the resin, it's cents on the dollar. If you're talking about your time and your investment in your 3D printer, depending on how many things, if you're like Mark here and you've been running stuff off every day since you got your printer, then your cost is going down every day.
It's trial and error too, because I mean, you don't know what to scale it at. You have to print you a trial piece. If it's smaller, then you need to scale it up. It's
resin can be unpredictable. It can sometimes do weird things depending on the temperature, depending on if you ship it long enough or not.
I've had some that warped.
Yep.
They're flat pieces.
This ship, it has a big old crack in it. See that?
That's a temperature change, ain't it?
Yep. It was either a temperature change or I added new resin while it was running. And the two resins just didn't bond together well.
I'll say, yeah, it didn't bond.
But on the night I did it, it got cold that night. So I don't know which it was.
Does that mean you had like the window open, or what's the impact on?
There was just a temperature drop. And I run my 3D printer. I have a shed.
Oh.
Now, did that crack during the printing process or the curing process?
It came right off the bed that way. So it was the printing process. It's almost like it printed it, and then the bonds just didn't hold and they popped.
I've got a snake face in my printer right now.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'll say about 3D printing. If you guys get into it, is it's a hobby in itself.
Have you looked on Colts, because there's a lot of vintage size figures on there that are printed in different sizes. I mean, how can I say this? There's different pieces for the figure itself.
Mm-hmm.
You could print the head separately. You could scale the head down to go onto a mega figure. You can print the chest by itself, scale it down.
Yeah, so I think I downloaded, if I recall, I downloaded a Man-at-Arms because I was thinking that was going to be my solution to building my soldier army if I can't get a hold of it anymore. And it's just like you're saying, it's a 3D model, but it's the arms, so you can pop onto the body, and it's all the little pieces that you could actually take apart on a real figure. Which is, it's kind of nice that they're doing scans like that. Now those aren't free though, right? Those, I think the one I got, I had to buy.
No, the majority of the stuff you find on Cults, you have to pay for.
Yeah, I think I spent like $5 or something on a Man-at-Arms.
Well, then if you get to reprint them over and over, pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
That's not
absolutely.
bad. Now, do the resins match the plastics that?
You could do that, but it's easier just to print it all in one color and go back and hand paint it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your original figures were hand painted anyways.
Right.
You can actually get resins that are a little more flexible than some of the stuff that I've sent you.
I saw something the other day. Somebody was showing a resin where they were like squeezing on it, and it was flexing like some of these weapons and stuff do.
Mm-hmm.
Which my resin I have right now, you squeeze it, it's going to snap.
Yeah, mine's brittle too.
I mean, if I just scored it, I could snap it perfectly in half. I'm not sure what those resins are called that are flexible like that.
Gotta be more expensive.
I think it's the same pricing on them. I just haven't tracked them down yet.
So, Brian, what are you working on?
Literally working on trying to make my oversized Grayskull. Well, my extra oversized Grayskull. So, working on the cheekbone here to try and thicken it up and making it bigger.
It looks mad.
That's the point. It always looks mad. Look at this old sketch. He always looks mad.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's what I'm going for.
That's going to be a big deal when you get it done.
Yeah.
Brian's instructions are going to be: you're going to need 15 copies of Grayskull to build this custom.
Yeah, I don't know. Those Wind Raider instructions are hard enough. So actually,
Did you ever finish that?
No, that's what I asked you about the parts. I don't have the custom in front of me, but I could talk about my problem.
Yeah, I meant to check for you. So you needed 5 copies of that little slope piece.
Yep. The part is that little one, kind of
Oh, the
one by
only-
one brick, but it's like 2 layers thick. And I get 5 of those for every 2 sets I open. But
How many are you supposed to get?
supposed to get 2 per set.
I think I got some extras of those too.
Yeah, I'm guessing most people have them, and my dilemma is, should I put out the design that literally calls for an extra piece you shouldn't have, but probably do? There's some modifications you can do for it, but I don't know.
All right, so this particular bag only has 2 of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll probably get 2 in one set and 3 in the other, is what I've averaged. I'm not sure what to do about that. To me, it looks really nice when you got 5 and you can use 5. But hey, Rob, you should do a whatever that pterodactyl fortress was we were talking about last time. You should do one of those out of foam.
Brian, you're not lying. This one has 3.
Yeah, 3.
So it's a 50-50 chance.
You know where you bought, which store you bought those at? Order them from?
No, I have no clue. Would there be a way telling from the box?
Not that I know of. I just know I think I own 1 from Amazon, and then I bought like 7 from Walmart.
So if Mega Construx does their parts the same way Lego does, it's by weight. So the machine may judge an extra small 1x1 piece just by bag. It could be 4 out of 5 sets, 1 out of 5 sets, depending on how the machine was calibrated that day. You know, every set made that day might have just 2, and every set made the next day will have 3.
Right.
So every mega set doesn't have the same exact amount of extra pieces.
You get those little 1x1 plates or 1x1 bricks. They weigh so little.
Yeah.
It's a fraction of a gram, and that's how the machines determine the number of pieces in the set.
Right.
So, that's why with like Lego sets, you always get those little, anything that's a 1x1 plate size, you'll end up with an extra one,
Right.
times over how many it calls for. If it calls for 20, you're going to get an extra 4 just because they're by weight at the time that the machine's sorting them.
Nate, do you feel, though, you think you get more extra parts with Mega than Lego?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't get the same number of extra parts. Like my Castle Grayskull, I had all my parts, plus I had a pretty good handful of extra parts, where other folks were complaining they didn't get all the parts.
Yeah, but I bet they still had extras. Like, I swear they changed the build on Grayskull halfway through, and that's why there's 200 extra parts that most people got. But most people that complain, they're missing a bag or 2, and that's...
Yeah, that's true. No, those 200 extra parts, were they counted in the actual number count?
I don't think so. Oh, no. Well, I think they're right on the box, but I don't think they're right in person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, but all the extra parts you get are the little ones. You know what I'm saying? Every little part, any extra parts you get are the itty little bit of ones. And that's why they're done by fractions of a gram on a machine. So is this that 3D print, Rob?
I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you muted yourself, Rob.
This is the guy's name is Ken Coleman, and this is who Mark found. And these are some of the parts broken down.
But can you order it yet or not?
Well, that's the thing. He hasn't. He basically, when people asked about it, he said, "Hey, message me." Now this is he says here.
Didn't he maybe get sued though? He's got to be careful, right?
Yeah, he says. Yeah, exactly. He says here that he went to Odyssey Studios to use their $10,000 scanning gear, and he's been scanning.
He's gonna get that too. Yeah.
So that's an incredible scanner.
Yeah, but Nate, you had like these left over from Grayskull, didn't you?
Yeah, I have a bunch of those.
There were definitely some big parts that were extras in that.
Which part was it, Brian?
This big, what do we call that?
Yeah, I have a bunch of those. In fact, I was just out looking at my stuff today, trying to see if I had anything for show and tell, and I came across those, and I was like, "Huh, I should probably send these to Brian because he needs pieces."
Maybe because those are extras, then I get at least 2 extras in every set. So there's some.
I was actually kind of surprised how many of those colored bricks I got from Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, it's close to 200. I've saved every picture I find when people take of those. I haven't done a full inventory, but there's a lot there.
Yeah, I want
Mark's
to say
got to get a $10,000 scanner.
I've got the Xbox scanner. I've tried it. I can't get it to work right.
Yeah.
that's crazy. So
I tried one of those cell phone app scanners, and I couldn't get it to work right either.
I mean, if nothing else, you could use the picture that you put up there with the broken down pieces. You could use it as a study model to build from.
Right. Where was that? Oh, it was over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would at least give you ideas of the shapes and stuff you needed to create.
It looks like an eagle head there rather than a lion head. From the
Mhm.
side. Is that probably the fang? Yeah, it is. So is the point? I know those arms can grab a figure, right? That's the design of the playset.
Yeah, it's for when your figures need a hug.
Or a bite. It's like pulls them in and chomps
Just
on
need
them.
a,
Yeah.
We need to get Blake Scotland on here. He actually did one, and his arms are articulate.
Oh, yeah.
and he made a track out of that other toy series.
Mm-hmm.
the monorail.
Mono.
It reminds me of this.
What is that?
Yeah, from Dragons.
I don't know. I bought a big bag of Mega Bloks pieces.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like the lower part from Dragons.
Yeah,
It's a dragon's piece.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have the top part of that?
I'm not sure. What does it look like?
That's the,
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I mean, it looked like a great Granomir.
well, yeah, nobody knows that answer.
It's weird when you get a box of dragons. Like, I can't even figure out how the stuff went together originally.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, it's kind of confusing. But I had the set I had. It was a bunch of walls and pillars and things like that.
Mhm.
Because where I got my figures displayed, I got them stair stepped like a grandstand, and I'm making the catwalk for the upper level of the figures out of Mega Bloks. So I have all the pillars, so it looks Mega Block-ish.
Mhm.
And that's where, so that way it's not just all the characters are kind of like all bunched together. I actually have them one on top of the other. And when I saw this big bag of all these pillars, this came with that set. So I'm thinking, like, what can I use this for? Can I make the Hordak slime pit out of it or something?
Yeah.
Or a small section of Snake Mountain, where like my idea, I don't know if anyone would listen to me, but in order to make Snake Mountain big as a mountain, it should be in like 3 or 4 separate sets that are already huge sets that you combine together into one huge set. Where like one part would just be the cave and the tower, and then another part would be that catwalk bridge with the lava flow. Another part would be the that gremlin head, and like all 4 sets would come together into one giant set.
And then the one
Are you
set you
following me on
need would be at Comic Con. You'd have all the sets you needed, but the Comic Con set, you would have a complete Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think
And
I
all
found
the sets would all fit together. They would all fit together then.
I kind of
It was
wish
based
that
off of the.
the
Remember
scalper
the battlescapes that Mega Bloks had,
Yeah, Halo.
and there was a separate set of instructions that you could take all the pieces from the battlescapes and make one giant set that you had to have all the sets to combine together. It's based off of that idea.
That's cool.
Hey, so I've got painted bricks here on this throne. I don't know. I call this thing the throne of power. That's my name for it. I don't know if there is a name for it. But these long fangs they were ice colored, and they're from the World of Warcraft. It's like a Night King guy who has a bone dragon, and these are from that set. So I don't know.
On camera, they don't look painted at all. They just look molded that way.
Yeah, these are Rust-Oleum. I think they're moss green, but they're in
It's a
person.
perfect match.
Yeah, they're real close. You probably can see it, like, maybe there. But they're pretty good. And I've got this. This is the weird kind of plant spike piece. I'm trying to work on a new design because I don't like these dinosaur tails that much. But
Have
Where are
you
the
tried?
hot dogs?
I was gonna say, have you tried building up the sides and putting some slope pieces on it to give it some texture?
do you mean along the side here?
Yeah.
I'll get to that. This is just kind of a prototype anyway. I'm trying to figure out the scale and everything. So we'll get there. But
It looks bigger than Point Dread right now.
it's way bigger. Probably
Yeah.
2 or 3 times the size, I would think.
You're definitely in the $80 price range there, Brian.
Probably. Yes.
Did you figure out what to use for the ribs?
Oh, well, that's what I mean. These, where is that? So these are Dinosaur Tails, and to me, they're just a little too skinny. And this thing is a blade from the Hero Factory Lego set, and I'm trying to make those. Like I've got one array here, but it's tricky. So I'm trying to put those behind this and make it line up right. So yeah, they're spikes, but ribs that kind of go behind it and stick out and fan out. So
The shape of the skull that you're building there,
yeah,
or the snake mouth or whatever, it kind of reminds me of Mumra's
yeah.
chamber.
I can find a picture here. It's a weird shape. It's kind of like a weird goblin head, and then it's got these parts that I don't know. And Mark is right. There's probably one of the few people who have analyzed this enough. It's kind of like rib bones that are behind it that stick up like spikes on the side. I know I got one here. Study it way too much.
That green is a good match.
Yeah, it's Rust-Oleum, just like we were saying earlier. Like Chris had said that
It'll bond to the bricks well.
Yeah, at least this style of plastic, it works all right. Yeah, I'll have to find this.
You said it's frost green?
Moss green, like
Moss green.
Patina?
I think it's either satin or flat. I try and stay away from gloss. That's just too shiny for me. Although, in some of the Transformers that I did, if I could only get the color in gloss, I would paint it gloss and then use a thinner, like a diluted thinner. And you can take the gloss off. All right, so I finally found.
This is what I've come up with.
It's very similar shape.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
This is what I've done on the side.
Yeah, I like the step. I feel like it's
Wow.
so tall when like He-Man stands at the base of it. Oh shoot! Yeah, I should find that picture. All right, let me. Can I share one here? All right, I got it shared here. Well, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, definitely got a flat at the top look, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's got a weird
throne.
goblin head. And if you look in there next to the throne seat, there you can kind of see the ribs, which look like they just come up as spikes on the outside. But those are tricky to. I'd really love to make it look that good, but it's hard. So,
That brow on that looks a lot like the one on your gray skull.
yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't look like the little parts you see inside the mouth don't look like the same as the spikes coming out the back. The lighting's off. They don't quite line up.
On the animation there. Yeah, they're not perfect, but there's something going on there. Whatever it is, there seem to be different segments in there behind the throne, and then the spikes come up the outside. So I got my pieces here.
It almost seems like you could do the spikes as a backdrop piece, or do it in 3 pieces. Like you could have like your mound coming up. Like instead of thinking of it all as one piece, you could almost do it as 2 or 3 pieces. That when you layer them together, it gives that effect.
Yeah, I kind of got that. I spent way too much time on it. I do like the back of it a lot. I did build kind of a spine back there to house these things.
Oh, cool.
So I like how that looks back there, but I don't quite like them as much. To me, they're just way too skinny. So they're better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. All right, gentlemen, we have gone about an hour and 10 minutes, so I am going to call it a night for the live feed. I thank you all again for joining me one more time. And thank you, Chris, for being our guest this week. And
Yeah, there's some good tips you brought us this week.
Yeah, no, put them to application.
There you go.
Well, we'll do it again. Let me end this live stream, and we'll see everybody next time.
Later.
Bye-bye.